Hi, Sammy. I wanted to respond to your video about why do atheists do good. Um, I apologize for the sound quality. My laptop isn't made for this, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. So your basic problem that you pose to atheists is, you know, why do you help people who are poor when, there's really no reason to objectively? I mean, I'll say right up front, my personal opinion is that there is no objective morality, no objective right and wrong. It is purely based on what the individual thinks. I mean, there's no right or wrong on Andromeda, for example, in my view. Um, Now that doesn't really that's not a problem for me, and I'm going to explain why. So what you were arguing is that in modern society, for example, there is really no reason to help the poor, for example, as you said. No reason to help those less fortunate than you. Um, and in the modern world that we live in, the one that we are very overpopulated and getting worse, like you said, uh, you're probably right. I have not seen the stats that you mentioned, but it certainly wouldn't surprise me if it is very counter-evolutionary to help poor people. Okay, that is the simple truth of it. I commend you for coming out and saying it. Um, uh, Now, the reason that we do good and atheists do good, despite this, is that we're not programmed like that. Okay, 500,000 years ago, evolutionarily, it was very important to help each other, uh, and that's how we're programmed. Okay, uh, that's how we are, irrespective of today's circumstances. Um, it's sort of like saying, why do people have sex even though they're using birth control? Okay, well, because we want to. Does it have any evolutionary purpose? No, but 500,000 years ago, there was no birth control, and people wanted to have sex to make babies. Even though that's not happening today, we still do it because that's how we're programmed. And the same is true of our morality. Okay, just because you don't like it doesn't make it any less true. Um, Now, personally, my morality is based on empathy. Okay, if it hurts somebody, I think it's the wrong thing to do. Wrong in quotation marks. If it doesn't hurt anybody, I don't see a problem with it. Uh, if I see somebody suffering, I will want to help them. I will feel sorry for them. The reason why I feel sorry is because I can understand that if I was in their position, I would want somebody to help me, and so I feel a need to help them in return. Okay. Uh, Now, does that have any objective, evolutionary uh, basis, or well, no, it doesn't. But that doesn't change the fact that I feel it. Okay. Like I said, that's how we are programmed, and my feeling of empathy does not change if it comes from a god or it comes from um, evolutionary psychology. Okay. I feel it nonetheless. Its origin is independent, or I feel it independent of its origin, is what I meant. Okay. Now, I realize that that is probably not a satisfactory argument because you think, well, it's true. There is no objective reason to feel that way, but that's how we're programmed, and that's how I feel. It doesn't make it any less real to me if I know that objectively it doesn't make any sense. That if I want to, you know, if all I'm looking out for is me, then you're right. There is no need to do that. If all I care about is my survival, then there is no need to do that. No point. But I still feel it, and I am bound by my emotions. Okay? The origin of my emotions does not change my emotions. Um, if that's an unsatisfactory answer, I'm sorry, but that's my answer, and I don't really see a problem with it. Um, Now, coming back to your view on it, you seem to make these arguments as if, if this was all true, if, there is no objective right or wrong, well, that would just be fucking terrible. Who the hell would want that? Who would care to think of that kind of world? Well, I'm afraid to say that what we want the world to be does not make the world that way. Okay, reality does not conform to what you think it should be. A lot of people don't realize that, even though they think they do. Right? if you are making an argument which says, how can you think that this is the morality? That's just crazy. That is not an argument, because just because you want there to be an objective morality, okay, does not make there be one. And any sort of argument along those lines is not an argument. Um, and that's sort of the final point that I wanted to make. In my life, I have, knowing these things does not change how I feel. It does not change the fact that I feel empathy. It does not change me acting on that empathy. Um, the ability to realize the reality of it and to act accordingly and to look past that, okay, I think is what we should all try and do, because fooling ourselves is not the answer, I don't think. Um, Understanding the reality of it and being able to see past that is into ourselves. This is getting really stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sort of going off around here, but I think you see my point. And if you want to respond, I'll be happy to hear it and make a response back.